1, 2, is this on?
And now, coming to you live on NewAgeInsiders.com.
We are the premier place for wrestling fans to connect, discuss, and to be heard.
Please welcome Jason Maltoff.
We watch wrestling to enjoy. If you're not enjoying it, why are you watching?
Liam Stryker.
If I told you once, I told you 1,000 times. Storytelling, storytelling, storytelling.
And Bill Neville.
Unpredictability is the answer. When wrestling's unpredictable, it's at its best.
Get ready.
This is Warbeard Hansen.
This is Johnny Mundo.
This is Jonathan Dijak.
Say hello to the bad guy, Scott Hall.
This is Mean Gene Okerlund.
This is Zack Ryder.
Hey, this is Cody Rhodes.
Hi, this is Howard Finkel. Hi, this is good old JR Jim Ross. I'm Bill Goldberg, and the New Age Insiders are next.
Oh, baby.
Well, hello.
Hello. We're back home.
This is going to be a fun one, I think.
I think you're
I
right.
am, wrestling-wise, in such a good mood. I am
okay.
energized.
It was an awesome weekend.
This is what happens. I've been waiting for it. We've been going to these big WWE pay-per-views.
And we've been waiting for everybody to end in
I
cheers.
just want to walk out to a happy crowd.
Yeah.
Right, we went to WrestleMania 31, and I guess that was one,
Oh,
right?
yeah,
people
yeah,
were psyched about Rollins,
Oh,
right?
yeah. Everybody was pumped.
But the apprehension beforehand was so palpable, right?
Oh, right.
And
it was like a big sigh of relief.
It's even things like SummerSlam 2016, when everybody was so pissed at Brock for opening up Orton.
Well, I don't think it was even necessarily Brock opening up Orton.
Which I thought was awesome.
It was
I love
that,
Brock Lesnar.
It was that nothing happened after.
Well, yeah, including
'Cause-
Goldberg.
Mostly
Well, we
Goldberg.
chanted for it. But
Right.
that video game commercial had come out.
Right, so it was on the table.
Right, if somebody was going to come down and make a crazy save to end,
It was gonna be Goldberg.
That was on the table. Instead, they were just like, "No,
Right.
we've been telling you, idiots. We love Brock, and we've invested in making him look just like this."
Yeah.
Which is great.
I also found out that I don't like the city of Philadelphia.
Oh, see, I don't feel that way. I enjoyed Philly. I had a great time. I don't think I saw one scenic view, but I had a cheesesteak. I liked it. Chip and Dylan and I shared a hotel room. An experience we will never forget. I don't know if tonight's the night for Tinklegate.
Yeah, we got way too much. This show is jam-packed.
But maybe on the Patreon edition.
Yeah, the Patreon edition, we can go
I'll-
into Tinklegate.
I'll tell you how Chip, Dylan, and I, in a non-sexual, not Trump pee-pee-tapey way, encountered just a urine monster
a urine monster?
that did his best to ruin a trip that three great friends would never let you
The
destroy.
three best friends that anybody had.
Yeah, no, I liked Philly. I had a
well,
cheesesteak. It was good.
The thing that
Lived up to the hype, I'd say.
The thing about Philly for me was it was all of the rundown parts of New York and all of the historic parts of Boston all in one city, and I wasn't a fan. Also,
I didn't
wanna-
play basketball outside after school, which is something that I wished I did.
I am going to say I am ashamed of the fans of the Philadelphia Eagles. I actively tried to interview Philadelphia Eagles fans.
Yeah, you did.
For a video. Like, actively tried.
I
Bill
saw
was with
that.
me.
I saw that.
and they're all barking no bite.
I was really surprised. It was basically like, "Hey, yell at this Patriots fan," and no one wanted.
And
to
no
do
one
it.
wanted to
But
do
it wasn't even that. Like
And
the only time I got confronted was right before we left eating a
Right.
cheesesteak.
I was pretty surprised.
Right.
Pretty surprised. Shout out to John Morse, by the way. I don't know what's going on, but he's on the ER, but he's listening
Oh,
to our
geez.
show.
Well, I
in
am
get well
the
soon,
ER.
man.
So John,
is George Clooney there?
I hope so, and Juliana Margulies.
Ooh, very fun.
Nice.
I like.
Very
I in the '90s.
And that bald guy, whatever his name was.
I liked him.
Jean-Luc Picard.
It was something. It was something Green, right? Wasn't he either Dr. Green
Yeah.
or he?
I never
last
actually
name was
watched
Green?
ER.
I enjoyed ER. Remember
Something
the
like
opener?
You know, well, and while we're shouting out, people that are like in the ER and sick, all our best wishes out to Anthony
Ant.
To
DiStefano,
Ant, who's
in quarantine.
Yeah, right. Ant has rabies.
Yeah, so he can't be. He can't be.
He's gonna be a walker soon.
Right, he can't be around people for the next.
He can't
week
be
and
around
a
his
half.
daughter, and I know that like legitimately bums him out. So we do want Ant to
I
get
also,
better. ASAP.
I also kind of like. Look, I hope he's in quarantine till the Super Bowl because I know that would kill him.
Yeah, well,
He has to watch the Super
It's
Bowl.
through Saturday.
He would find a way.
But he has to watch the Super
The
Bowl.
one thing I definitely learned about Philly fans is they're ready for this game.
Right, I know,
They
but
are
it would be
excited for this game.
It would be insane to listen to the text messages from Ant, knowing that he has to sit in a room alone
Yeah.
by himself and watch that Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's no fun. They probably won't even bring you buffalo dip.
Yeah.
Because you're all gross.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But Ant, get better soon. We know that you're out there hurting. Get on home. And thank you for joining us in Philadelphia, including G-Rod and Phil and McCool and Chip and Damien.
I will be there in 30 minutes.
Yeah, there you go. And to be fair to Stryker, he was only 9.5 hours late. So I don't know exactly what your problem
Yeah, my
is.
ETA is 4:30. I'm coming tomorrow.
Yeah, right. You were closer to the next 4:30 a.m. than you
Yeah,
were
I was.
to that 4 p.m.
Yeah, right. Well, I blame Nesson.
Okay.
I blame Nesson.
Excuses.
Yeah.
It is probably the fault of the New England sports.
you know
Network.
how when you're like, hey, look, I need to do it at this time, but if I absolutely have to do it at this time, like this other time that really doesn't work, but
Sure.
I'm trying to be flexible.
Yep.
It's always the time that you're like, I'm trying to be flexible.
There was a 9.5 hour gap between those two appointments.
Yeah. Well,
Cool.
because it was either Thursday.
Yeah.
And I could have left at 11 like I was planning on, or I had to do the show at 11, and then I didn't get out of the show till past 12, and then 93 South blows.
And then you fell into the Bermuda Triangle real quick. It
It happens.
It's all
I
good.
fell into the same Bermuda Triangle that Kenny Omega took to get from Japan to the Rumble.
Forgive me because some of the decisions I make, my memory isn't perfect. But shout out to everyone that came to Philadelphia to see us.
What a
and
turnout.
I think that Vince McMahon's Royal Rumble might have had a little something to do with it too. But hey, you did go to Philadelphia, and while you were there, you stopped by. So shout out to Todd. We got to meet in person for the first time.
Todd was awesome.
Both Dannys,
Yeah.
both Russ, and Hashtag were there. Right. So we saw the Dannys. We saw Todd. We saw Jedi. We saw Kim. Antisocial Kim was there. We saw Cody Benoit.
Yep.
Nick.
Found out Kim is from Canada.
Right. We saw Kim. All right. Shout out to Antisocial Kim all the way up there. I don't know if you are we downloaded often in Canada. I don't even know what
Probably.
time it is.
Yeah.
It's
I
a
could
different.
look.
It's a whole other country. It might not-
Ontario,
I
right?
don't even know what time it is. Somewhere
And it's on the
up there.
metric system. It's crazy.
A huge shout out to her whenever this gets to the Great White North from across the border.
Yeah.
Antisocial Kim was there. And Nick was there.
Oh, Nick was there. I loved Nick.
We saw, of course, Biff and Dylan
Yep.
came and
Yep.
Chip came.
Yep.
Yeah.
The network guys were there, like Damien and McCool, and we saw Ant and Phil
Melissa.
and G-Rod. Melissa. Issa was there.
Issa
we
was there, yep.
love Issa.
Rachel.
Rachel was there, of course. Rachel was there. I'm like going down the table,
Yeah.
and she was at the. She
I'm,
was
like,
at,
trying
she was
to
at the-
remember.
she was at the very end. I'm like going from one end of the table to
Yeah.
the other, trying to remember everybody.
Ashante and Gary, the guys who run the tailgate that we're
Yeah.
broadcasting
How
from.
Great was that to see them there. And it was just a really fun experience, and we really do mean it when we say one of the big, genuine highlights of the trip is seeing you. Rob was there.
Yep.
Was one of I'm just gonna. There's gonna come in
Yeah.
spurts. There's
Yeah.
gonna
We'll
come in
shout you out as we
in
think of it.
the middle of the show, we'll just remember somebody else.
Exactly. There's just going to come in spurts. So it was just really wonderful to see you guys. It really is one of the highlights of the experience for us to
really
come
is.
out there and shake your hand. And, it's great to put faces to names. And it's just great to know that, we know literally because we see our numbers that people are
Oh
listening.
yeah,
but
Chad Too Bad and Tex Ferguson
Oh,
were
they
there.
were
And Cody
also
Benoit.
there. They
Yeah.
were also, Cody was there. We had mentioned Cody, but Cody he missed him. Cody
He
didn't
did,
get
him and Dan.
He didn't get to see him, but Chad
Yeah.
Too Bad and Tex Ferguson were in the building.
there.
And it really was. It was just it was a swell time. And it's like I said, it's great to put faces to names, but it's nice to know that it's not just numbers listening to the show. It's people.
Right.
It's human beings.
Right.
Maybe we're doing something right. It's very, very cool. So to everybody that came out, thank
and,
you.
Sorry for not taking a huge group picture.
That's my biggest regret. I can't believe we didn't
keep
do
doing
that.
that.
Like I have 5 pictures with 5 people, but
Right.
not one picture with,
With
25
everyone.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Which is just great. We did great. Next time, Gadget. This was a trial run for WrestleMania in a lot of ways. So next time, Gadget. Next time. Speaking of WrestleMania, it's coming to New York. That's interesting. But we're going
It's
to
unofficial right now, but
but
still,
But that's going to happen.
it's all but confirmed.
Something tells me it's just until CBS Sports gets their hands on it or something
Oh,
stupid.
yeah.
But
sounds
we're
like-
going to New Orleans. That's our next big trip. The Royal Rumble
Also,
was awesome.
keep posted because we might have something super special in the works for New Orleans.
Great.
to get down there.
Oh yeah.
Don't
so-
reveal anything yet.
No,
You
we're not
don't even-
revealing
you don't
anything
even
yet.
Because nothing is
you don't
official.
even know because nothing is official. But if this goes through, this is going to be
fun
the
time
best thing ever.
Nothing will beat Disney Mania in a way, but this will be its own unique experience, we believe. So stay tuned for information on that. Again, thank you so much for joining us throughout the Royal Rumble. We had an unconventional Royal Rumble post show, but the biggest thing is we want to start doing post shows. Our old shtick was we do pre and post shows for every WWE pay-per-view that we do not attend. We want to kind of change that up and just
Except
make
for Philly, we did.
Right, and just make it every WWE pay-per-view, period, including the ones that we go to. So we set up, Bill did a great job setting up a makeshift little area studio for us to be able to just go right from the Rumble. It took us only about 45 minutes to go from building to live, which is best case scenario for knowing that we had to, get out of there and do stuff. Damien Salty G from the Shattered Glass Cast joined us live. Big shout out to Damien again for doing so. We didn't take your calls that night because it's just logistics and internet and all that stuff, but we are going to tonight. We have two special guests from the network who are also in Philadelphia, so we'll get their perspective on TakeOver. We'll talk to Phil about TakeOver. We will talk to G-Rod about Shinsuke Nakamura being the Royal Rumble winner, and then we'll come back from break and we will talk to you. We will open up the phone lines at 508-202-1624 after G-Rod, so save the calls. We're not going to take them till after G-Rod, but we do want to hear from you. If you were there, we definitely want to hear from you. If you were there and you didn't see us, boo.
Yeah, no. Shame on you.
We should probably know how you feel about it, right? But if not, we'd love to hear from anybody and everybody about TakeOver, the Royal Rumble, Ronda Rousey. Anything from the weekend is on the table. This is what we're talking about this week. The Patreon show, I think we're going to use an opportunity. Feels like we're going to do one of those old-fashioned rapid-fire segments. We haven't talked about the XFL yet.
Nope.
We haven't taled about Cena and Balor and the Elimination Chamber and that getting cooking. So if you want,
I want to talk about chance.
So today is Royal Rumble, debriefing day. But if you want to hear about our thoughts about the XFL and everything else going on in the world of wrestling, you're going to want to subscribe to patreon.com/New Age Insiders. There are 5 unique shows a month. It feels like a new Patreon every day.
We're getting 3.
Which is so awesome and makes us feel so great. And it's validating and it keeps us going and motivated and knowing that, we've got some next steps and they're real and they're ahead of us. And that's because of you guys. Again, after every edition of NAI Pod on Wednesdays, we'll record an exclusive episode that you can only hear if you're a Patreon, and you can hear Be Heard, which is a show you help construct from the ground floor every single month. So there's 5 unique shows. There's also other bonuses, Friday bonuses, Raw bonuses, SmackDown bonuses, pay-per-view bonuses. Everybody's been sending us messages saying this is the best Patreon I subscribe to, and you guys have really kept up your end of the bargain.
Yeah.
And that means the world to us.
So much so that I don't want to put this out publicly because it shames the other podcasts that I subscribe to.
Right, exactly.
That is a real quote.
We get these private DMs going, hey guys, I'm not going to tell the other guys they're not doing it right, but you guys are doing it right. So thank you so much. We appreciate that. Patreon.com/New Age Insiders. If you like this, the Rumble gear is still up there. If you want to get it in spirit, the Mania gear, all of our gear, the vintage sweatshirt you see Bill wearing, New Age Insiders on Represent.
And last thing before we bring in Phil to talk about NXT.
That's right, because we got Phil on the line.
Go and subscribe to New Age Insiders Pop on Twitch.
Yep.
The goal for 2018 is to get to partner.
Yeah.
We want to get to partner. So like, share, subscribe, all of those fun things. Follow.
We're on Twitch right now.
We're on Twitch right now. You can watch this show simulcast, or you can watch it after the fact. If you're listening to it and you're like, oh, there's a funny bit and I want to watch the funny bit because it was probably wacky, well, you can watch it on Twitch.
That might have happened.
That might have happened. We don't know. The show's still young. So go like, share, and subscribe. If you are an Amazon Prime member, you can subscribe to us for free. So you don't pay us, but Amazon pays us because you were like, hey, I'm a Prime member and I want you to pay them.
That's
so
right.
So do that. And if you're not either one of those things, sign up for Prime because it's totally worth it, and then sign up for us.
And there you go. And that way you have the best of both worlds and you can be a truly happy and complete human being. Also, make sure to subscribe at New Age Pop on iTunes, Podomatic, Lork, Normal, Stitcher as well. The same place you can find NAI Wrestling. All those platforms are the places you can find New Age Pop that has Late Night Liam, that movie show for the Pops with Scotty Slade and Jimmy Jemakowski. Dombrowski, Cool, Calm, and Collected, Be Nerd, featuring the three of us, wackos, and a whole lot more coming this year. We appreciate the...
and Songs for the Moment.
Did I not say Songs for the Moment?
I don't know.
I
but
might have.
I'm
I might not
doubling.
have. If I didn't, I'll say it again. Songs for the Moment is also a great show with G-Rod. Before we have our network affiliate join us, because we're really excited to talk to two of them this evening. If you're new to the show, if you're clicking some hashtags and links, my name is Jason Malta.
I'm Liam Stryker.
And I'm Bill Neville.
We are the New Age Insiders. You can find us on Twitter. Please do. We are at New Age Insiders, at Liam NAI, at Bill Neville NAI. The website, newageinsiders.com, is getting revamped and restructured and will be a daily.com coming very shortly. That's where you can, I said, find the networks that we offer, the plans that we have, because all together we are the premier place for wrestling fans to connect, discuss, and to be heard. That was a hugely successful Royal Rumble weekend, I must say. Even Raw and SmackDown were pretty good. And the biggest thing about these big 4 weekends seems to be they kick off with takeovers now. And you'd be hard-pressed, I think, to find a better way to kick off a big weekend and to get your fans invested in a takeover and excited. And it really is the biggest thing is, you can either go one of two ways. You can have people that are really genuinely excited and go, yay, the weekend's awesome. Or then you have the people that go, good luck tomorrow, WWE. It's like, yeah, God forbid that we have a different experience over the weekend. But anyway, TakeOver seems to be great pace setters. And this one was no exception. I thought it was a really solid one. I don't know if it was the very best TakeOver I've ever seen or attended, but I say this every single time. There's at least going to be a very good show, and it was.
Yeah, the thing with all of these takeovers, much like WWE pay-per-views in general, right, or special events or whatever the hell you want to call it, they give you one thing that you're going to talk about and one thing you're going to remember. And that match between Johnny Gargano and Andres Cien Almas was the match of the weekend, arguably. And it was so great. It was so awesome. And then the moment of the Tommaso Ciampa return after
makes you want to watch the next one.
It makes you want to watch the TV. And so they're great. Cassius Ohno and Velveteen Dream didn't live up to expectations, and that was depressing.
Yep, and we'll talk about it in a second. But if you have a bad match with Chris Hero, that's your fault. There, I said it.
Yes.
Somebody that was in the building for NXT TakeOver and was with us all Rumble weekend long is a member of the Rant with Ant. He is also the host of Who Got Next, the NXT specific podcast. He is Philium. He is joining us live. Thanks so much for giving us a shout, brother. We're really excited to talk TakeOver with you.
What's up, guys? What's going on?
Not too much, man. I miss you already, and you look dapper without your beard. You look unrecognizable.
Yeah.
I warned everybody. Everybody still was shocked. I told everybody.
Yeah, but you can warn
It was a
people.
farewell tour this weekend.
You can warn people, but that still won't alleviate the shock.
You look like your own brother, Dill.
Dillium.
Dillium.
Exactly, right?
Phil, like I said, I think takeovers really are these great appetizers for the weekend, especially now that they, over the last year or so, don't look now, have become 4-day weekends. The big thing is they used to be, really, with all due respect, 3-day weekends because no one was about not live SmackDown.
And it was always 200 miles away.
Exactly. And so it's just like we used to do these things as 3-day weekends. Now they really are 4-day weekends. So if you're going to get people to hunker down for more than half a week, you know what I mean? You're going to need to set that thing off right. And I think takeovers almost always do that. And this was no exception. What are your just over general thoughts of NXT TakeOver Philadelphia before we get into specifics?
Well, it was another solid show. It seems like the takeovers are always either at least, a B or an A. And I feel like this show was around a B level. I think that, just like you guys said, the Velveteen Dream Cassius Ohno match was a little kind of all over the place. And not like you guys. I don't blame Velveteen Dream 100%. I think they just both didn't have chemistry. I don't think that it was necessarily all Dream's fault. But, it was another great night of wrestling.
Yeah, I kind of tend to agree. I don't want to put the
I'm not
blame
gonna bury that guy and be
squarely
like,
on Velveteen Dream because, he is still fairly new to this, and the stuff that was messed up was all things that were momentum based, right? He's trying to catch Chris Hero, and he falls over, and we do have to talk about the fact that Chris Hero is far heavier than he should be,
and that Velveteen's selling an injury.
Right.
So there was, at some points, there was storytelling aspects of him not being able to do it. Can he do it?
Right.
I didn't even necessarily, everybody kind of goes to the he didn't pick him up spots. I kind of give him a pass on that, again, because Chris Hero's a couch and because the guy was selling an injury. But I just never thought that thing got going. And what bugged me the most about it wasn't even the match itself, is that the hype was this kid was so confident he was going to beat Chris Hero. He said he's going to do it in 30 seconds.
Right, and then he didn't.
And so, like, what I would have thought you'd do is have Chris Hero say, you know, you might have had a good showing against Black, but you also lost, and so I'm going to knock you out in 30 seconds. That way, when Hero doesn't do that, he looks like a jerk, and when he loses, Velveteen's a hero. Instead, Hero, what you don't respect Chris Hero so much, you thought you were going to beat that guy in 30 seconds?
Right.
Drives me nuts. But Phil, let's talk.
It was all a part of the gimmick of the match, though. You know, it wasn't. I don't think we should kind of like really hold on to that. I mean, it was awesome live. The crowd was chanting and then cheered when they thought Ono was going to get knocked down in 30 seconds. But I think it's more of like we haven't seen Chris Hero really be Chris Hero in NXT yet. And
Cassius Ohno's not that great. Cassius Ohno's borderline bad.
No, Cassius Ohno's...
No.
I know,
Chris Hero is great.
No, believe me, I know.
Cassius Ohno is...
I just love Chris Hero so much I want to look at it. Like, I just
I want to read into the tweets. I want to read into the tweets after the fact that hopefully he's going to go to Chris Hero.
Oh, how terrific would that be? Phil, one of the biggest things I'm looking forward to talking to you about is the women's championship match, because it really seemed to split the crowd. People I've talked to about it either kind of loved it or hated it. I loved it. And here's what I got out of that match, Phil, is what I thought I was being told without commentary, just being there and watching it. What I thought
you had that guy behind you.
Well, we'll talk about that after.
Very much with commentary.
Holy God. I'll never forget
Mamma
that.
mia!
The guy was Phil. The guy was sitting right behind us, and he was doing full commentary for the entire show. And I'm not talking about
that
just
blows
like
my mind.
I'm not talking Phil, I'm not just talking about like neck breaker. I'm talking about like he would hit him and he would go, "Oh, Adam Cole looks down, but Aleister Black is also exhausted. Oh, Cole with a kick out of 2. Black gave him too much time." And I was like, "What's happening behind me right now?"
Dude, I would have just swung. I would have turned around and swung. Like, bro, are you kidding me right now?
If the beers weren't $12, I would have. If the beers weren't $12, I would have threw it over my shoulder.
Phil, it's like he was auditioning. You know what I mean? Or he was like doing one of those things at Access where you get to like do commentary with Michael Cole. Like that, the whole night he was going, "Impressive display by Baszler, but let's see if she could take down the champion. Ember Moon is no stiff herself." And I was just like, guy, you know what I mean? The one thing I get out of this experience is I don't have to listen tomorrow at 11 the whole show.
Right.
And you're at 12.
My favorite part of his commentary was after the Gargano and Almas match. He goes, Johnny Gargano sitting on the ramp, and he goes, "Oh, this looks like a send-off for Johnny Gargano. Looks like he may be the next Cruiserweight champion on 205 Live."
Right? And then he goes, "Oh no, but then here comes Ciampa. Wow, on a time with a crotch." And I'm just like,
oh my God.
And he's like,
imagine.
He's so over the top. It was like a monster truck style commentary, and like it was. I'll never forget that weekend for so many reasons, including the Tinkle stuff that you know about. But that's another day.
Oh boy,
that's another day, Phil.
Again, subscribe to the podcast, to the Podomatic,
the Patreon. Subscribe to all of it.
Subscribe to all of it,
Phil. But I do want to talk about the women, because what I got out of that match was that Shayna Baszler is a legit badass. They're going to present her as a badass UFC. It's a credibility thing, right? But at the same time, she's not quite a pro wrestler yet, and Ember Moon was able to out-pro wrestle her. She would have lost a fight, but she was able to catch her because there's still stuff you got to learn. Is that what you got out of that match, and what did you think of the women's performance?
Well, you know, it wasn't the best like wrestling match, but I think like you said when we were there live in Philly, it was a great storytelling match. Not every match is going to be a 5-star classic, right? Especially when you have one on the same card that you're wrestling on, right? Some of the matches kind of have to take a step back to let the other shine. And I feel like this match was more about establishing Shayna as this like monster fighter that will literally do anything to win, even if it means breaking arms or really hurting her opponent. And then it also was used to establish Ember as this like never quit, never give up champion. And I feel like that was the theme of the whole show. A lot of the matches were establishing 2 different storylines within the same match.
Yeah, and they absolutely crushed it, especially with the women's match, because it felt very much like, if Shayna Baszler had been pro wrestling for maybe 6 more months, she would have beaten Ember Moon.
Right.
But because Ember Moon had to battle through Asuka this entire year, she's the more savvy veteran, was able to squeak out the win.
Yep.
I also loved that WWE sold both Adam Cole's ribs and her arm in the Rumble matches the next night.
Yep.
It would have been so easy to just chalk that up to these people don't watch NXT.
Other universe. Yep.
Other universe, they're fine.
Yep.
But to have her go out there with a broken arm and sell a broken arm,
great stuff.
Was great.
What a great weekend. Phil, for the first time in NXT TakeOver history, did the men's championship match, was it the match of the night? Because I don't think it's ever been. I don't know if the men's championship match has ever been the match of the night at a TakeOver. Did that happen in Philadelphia?
Of course. It's going to end up being one of the matches of the year, if not the match of the year. I think what Gargano and Almas did was just on a different level. And to try to, I've watched it back live since being back home, and, it's a phenomenal match. But being in that building and kind of feeling that atmosphere, I know I was on Twitter asking people, if they went to WrestleMania 30, is that what that felt like? Because you felt like I was going for Almas in the match. I like Gargano, but I'm a big Almas guy. And even towards the end of the match, I look over to Nick, who's a diehard Gargano fan, and I was like, I just want to see Gargano win. I want to see what this crowd does, how they pop, how they go nuts when he actually wins this belt. So that's just kudos to both performers, because at that point, I know 75% in the match, we were all just standing it doesn't even matter who wins. We just want to just continue watching this greatness.
Right.
Absolutely. And then I'm not really a huge CN guy. I just, I never really got into him.
How about him coming out as Alhambra, though?
Yeah. Well, no, that's what I'm saying.
How
is
cool
this
is that?
This match, Bill and I went to a house show for NXT, and he was the guy that faced McIntyre at the end of the night, and it was for the NXT championship. And I remember saying to Bill, being like, that's super disappointing. Yeah. There's so many people on this roster, and you're going to pick him, and I'm not into it. I'm not really into it. Watching him at TakeOver converted me.
Yeah, Saturday put him on the map.
Saturday.
I don't think Drew McIntyre's great.
I don't think Drew McIntyre's all that great either.
And Johnny and Gargano is. And so I think the quality of opponent matters with a guy like that.
Yeah.
And I think CN was
CN was all world.
He is still the bad guy, and still people wanted Gargano to win. But I think it's two things. It's one, they gave him, it was one of those respectful clap, would I have preferred the other guy to win? Sure, but what did you just do? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then that carry.
Well, CN is more of the best kept secret of NXT, right? And I feel like he really came on the map when him and Roddy had that match at TakeOver San Antonio last year.
Yep.
But he was more of if you watch NXT every week, you know how good this guy is. And, we get to see him at TakeOvers and stuff like that, but you understand that when he gets his moment, he's going to have his spotlight. For me, I know you guys thought the Asuka Ember Moon match in Brooklyn was the best match. I thought it was Gargano and CN, and now that CN's in this position and given this spotlight, now people can finally get to see how good this guy really is, because he's been good for a while.
I agree with that. And I think that he is one of those guys that's sneaky good. And all of a sudden you realize that you got something on your hands here. And the belt needed to go to a guy like CN, because it just kept going to
return.
Or big name, or just guys that never needed the NXT title for you to know they were a big deal. If Kevin Owens had never been the NXT champion, they did something great with it. Don't get me wrong. But what I'm saying is Drew McIntyre. That guy didn't need to be the NXT champion.
Yeah.
You're former Intercontinental champion. You know what I mean? And so CN is one of those.
Right.
It feels like the first guy since Sami Zayn
and
or
it also
Neville that
felt
needed
like
it.
To me, this was the first time since his match with Nakamura that I really got invested in him.
Yeah.
And if you finally clicked and this is what I get, then I'm on board. I want to touch on the Aleister Black versus Adam Cole match, which, if CN Gargano didn't put on the match of the night, this was going to be the match of the night, because this was great. It was an Extreme Rules match, and it was played so well.
Here's the thing about these kind of Extreme Rules matches, Phil. I'm a huge, gigantic ECW dork. Everybody knows that. One of my favorite wrestling memories is finding them at 3 a.m. on the Spanish channel and watching them Friday nights or Saturday mornings, where the hell it is. And I loved ECW. And so my issue with these Extreme Rules, everything's on the table matches in WWE is, I've seen it all. I've seen a guy jump off the balcony. I've seen a guy, I've seen New Jack hit somebody with a typewriter. You know what I mean? So it's like in a real one. And so like there's nothing I usually don't enjoy them because just going through a table doesn't make me go like, wow. But what I loved about Cole and Aleister Black was the no DQ-ness was an extension of the wrestling match.
Right.
They were working each other so well that it got to the point where Cole couldn't put him away. So if I can use a chair,
I'm gonna have to.
I will. He didn't create 3 different spots with a chair like Sabu. He goes like, all right, screw it. You know what I mean? And then, Aleister Black goes, all right, fine. I can't seem to put Cole away. What if I push him off the turnbuckle? You know what I mean? Through these tables. That might do it. You know what I mean? And so what I loved about Aleister Black versus Adam Cole was I felt like they put on a great wrestling match and everything they did to make you go, ooh and ah made sense. Phil, what did you think of Black versus Cole?
See, the funny thing is, I guess it's because I was an ECW guy. Like, I'm not really a fan of the Extreme Rules hardcore matches unless it's like a blood feud and this is like the culmination of it.
Sure.
But like the match was a good match. I'm not going to say it wasn't, but I wasn't the biggest fan of the match. There was some spots that were awesome, like that spot where Adam Cole gets slammed on his back on the 2 chairs facing the opposite way that we usually see it face was brutal. And it was just like, I remember screaming out loud, like, you don't have to do this. Like, you're Adam Cole. You don't have to take that bump. You guys have already tried to kill each other for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And it was cool. And the one thing that sucked, though, with the match that I think we can all agree on was that the garbage can was too far when they did that spot off. I think it was off the ladder. And Adam Cole, instead of hitting back first, kind of hit his hand and slit his hand open.
Yeah.
And kind of slowed the match down a little bit, which sucks. But I think both guys handled it really well. And, Aleister Black, a pro, man. He's going outside looking for weapons. So as a fan, you're looking at him to see what he's grabbing. But like off camera, Adam Cole's getting work done. And I thought that was a pretty good thing on Aleister Black.
Phil, going into TakeOver, I told you I thought Aleister Black was the next men's champion. You didn't. Do you still not think so? Do you think so now? Who's the next in line for the NXT?
You were right.
Yay!
It's definitely Aleister Black. Just because I thought that Sanity was going up a lot sooner. But it seems like they're kind of pushing towards a 3-on-3 Sanity versus Undisputed Era match at TakeOver New Orleans.
Sure.
And we're most likely going to get something with Aleister Black and Cien Almas. So, I mean, you're right. I can't knock it,
It's tough for me to not feel like Aleister Black's the number 1 contender.
Yeah, he already defeated.
Right. He's got the 1 loss, but it's just you're beating everybody impressively.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't him, it was Cole, so it has to be you now.
Right.
Final thoughts.
Yeah, but
Phil.
you think that with his popularity that he was going up, like that was my thing, because it was like NXT usually doesn't keep a lot of big name stars all at once, right? Like Nakamura came in, Finn went up, and Nakamura goes up, someone else comes in. You have Adam Cole and Aleister Black on the same show. They're gonna start to kind of cancel each other out because they're both insanely popular. But I guess that they're gonna push Adam Cole more towards like the stable thing and have Aleister Black staying on his own for a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's most likely it. Phil, what are your final thoughts on NXT TakeOver Philadelphia? Grade, review, just your overall synopsis on the show we were able to attend out there in Philly.
I would give it a B+. I thought it was a great show and just another reason why NXT is the best way to start your wrestling weekends. It really gets you going and it always leaves you in a good mood.
Totally agree. Phil, you are the man. We really appreciate everything you do, and we are always excited to hear you on the Rant with Ant. And if you want to hear more of Phil's thoughts on NXT, you got to follow Who Got Next, the show he does with Nick. Thank you so much, brother. We'll talk to you real soon.
Thanks, guys.
You got it. All right, we are going to take a quick break. When we come back, it'll be time to talk about the Royal Rumble itself. We're going to be talking to G-Rod from the Rant with Ant, again, somebody else who's out there in Philadelphia, and an enormously gigantic Shinsuke Nakamura fan, and he's going to tell us all about why he thinks Nakamura won and what's coming up next as the road to WrestleMania really is upon us, the New Age Insiders. We'll be right back. Hey neighborhood, your feedback and support goes a long way in helping NAI grow and provide the ultimate wrestling fan experience.
That's right, and now there's even more ways to take part in the community. Just head to patreon.com today and search for New Age Insiders.
Everyone is loving their rewards and new exclusive content is coming all the time.
And with plans starting as low as $2 a month, any support is appreciated and goes a long way towards enhancing the New Age Insiders experience.
Once again, visit patreon.com, search New Age Insiders, and take advantage of the new rewards today.
I'm pro wrestler The Kingpin Brian Malonis.
And I'm referee Mike Crockett from the Wrestling Podcast About Nothing.
I spent most of my weekends half naked in front of throngs of people at DFW halls and Elks lodges.
And I've watched, not that there's anything wrong with that, every week, listen to us tear down the curtain and tear down each other in the process.
It's the WPAN. Nothing more, nothing less.
Mondays, only on the NAI Wrestling Network.
I'm Anthony DeStefano.
I'm Glenn Rodriguez.
I'm Phil Cataldo. What do we know about wrestling?
We don't just know wrestling.
We live it.
Every week, the fans on social media disrespect each other. Welcome to the consequences.
WWE, New Japan, the Indies, we're talking about all of you.
We shield wrestling fans from injustice.
Every Friday.
On the NAI Wrestling Network.
The Hounds are here. Anthony DeStefano.
Glenn Rodriguez.
Phil Cataldo.
This is Rant with Ant.
What's up, NAI Universe? Damian Salty G.
I'm Chip Kayfabe.
Along with our friend Matt McCool, and we are talking all things women's wrestling,
independent wrestling,
NXT,
as well as hot button WWE topics.
And taking your 3-count questions. The Shattered Glass Cast at GlassCast NAI.
Saturdays on the NAI Wrestling Network.
I'm retired business executive and seasoned dad, Jamie J. Mikowski.
And I'm a rookie dad and local independent wrestler, Scotty Slade, and we're the hosts of For the Pops.
We're the only podcast on the NAI Pop Network that has a mix of sports, wrestling, and pop culture all in under an hour.
This is a place where two pops talk about the topics that interest us with a special guest in each episode.
And we have a splash of pop culture information to help us survive in our world of wives, kids, and coworkers.
And at the end of each episode, if that wasn't enough, Jamie tests both our guest and I on obscure pop culture facts in an exclusive segment called For the Pops Quiz.
So don't miss For the Pops with Scotty Slade and me, Jamie J. Mikowski, only on the NAI Pop Network.
Let's get back to more of the New Age Insiders. Here's Jason Maltov, Liam Stryker, and Bill Neville.
Yay! I like Shinsuke Nakamura. I remember watching him in New Japan, and I was like, I have no idea what this man is saying, but he is captivating because he's all of the wrestling nonsensicalness that I love about like a Tyler Breeze.
Okay.
Except Tyler Breeze is treated like a joke in WWE, and Shinsuke Nakamura is one of their most decorated champions of all time. So, you know, I get to have what I want sometimes.
If you didn't listen to the post show with Damian Salty G, do so. It's available on all our iTunes feeds and all that audio stuff that you should hopefully know by now. And I think if you listen to this, you can find that. But what I said, just real quick before we get to G-Rod, was it is ignorant to say that nobody likes John Cena. Sure they do. Somebody's buying these shirts. You know what I mean? Nobody likes Ty Dillinger in the way you say so.
Yeah,
right. Because like, what do you mean? Like, yeah, people chant and stuff, but his merch sales
don't exist.
That's what you're saying. You know what I mean? Like, like nobody likes Titus O'Neil.
It's ironic,
right?
It's more ironic.
Exactly. Titus O'Neil. No one likes Titus O'Neil. Right. You can make that statement. If WWE would push that guy to the moon, yeah, I'd be confused too. To say that nobody likes Roman Reigns, you're stupid. Yeah. You don't have to like Roman Reigns. I don't care if you don't like Roman Reigns. I don't love a lot of the experience of Roman Reigns, including the fan reaction, which is why I'm so happy to talk about what we get to talk about tonight. But you can't just throw a blanket over and say no one likes Roman Reigns. You're stupid. Yeah. The shirt sales are too high. Somebody's buying these, and it's not just his family. You know what I mean? Like,
although it is the entire island of Samoa.
Right, I'm sure he does well. You know what I mean? In Tonga. But it's not just that. There's people like Roman Reigns. So don't be stupid. But at the same time, I think it's clear that there are two groups of fans. ones that go to the shows and go on the internet.
Yeah.
And then this huge group that I don't know where you are, but you're out there buying shirts.
Well, I said it. I think that it's families. I think Roman Reigns is the family.
Yeah.
And those
But
people,
not just Roman Reigns, like all of it. Like crowds, like Sheamus and Cesaro travel from town to town and they get the same reaction. But you know what I mean? Like it just seems like it's funny because like before the bar. Right, Cesaro got these reactions from town to town, and on Twitter he was got these hugely positive reactions. But then the other fan base got to win because something happened with him because you don't really like him. It's weird,
right? It's just such a weird combination because I do think that there is the answer to the people that don't go to the shows are the families that might not be able to afford to go to the shows.
Yeah, sure.
That's what I. That's
easier
what
to
I
get
think.
a $25 shirt than a $50 ticket times 4.
Times 4, right?
Yeah.
And I think that has to play into some of it, where it's like, you're not gonna go to. So, but at the same time, I also think that it's WWE stubbornness too.
We're there.
That is a part of it.
But the big point is that it seems like for every year that you can, anytime you want to do John Cena, Randy Orton, or Roman Reigns, right? You know that there's a huge group of people out there that would have wanted Finn Balor, Samoa Joe, let's keys off the table, Finn Balor, Kevin Owens, or Shinsuke Nakamura. Right? And you know that those are, while there are people that in a camp in the middle that like them all, right? You know that fundamentally I'm talking about two camps.
Right.
The WWE stalwarts.
You know, the two camps that were represented by the 6 people in the ring at the end.
Exactly. The WWE stalwarts, the easy choices, it's anytime we need to, they can win anything, anytime.
Right.
And the please God give us something different and boost somebody.
And these are the guys who are on our short list.
Exactly. And I think the two, if we had taken, it's hard to with Twitter and stuff, but we had taken an open-ended fan poll, I think the two people that the fans would have wanted to win the Royal Rumble the most were Finn Balor and Nakamura. And one of them did.
I wanted Nakamura, and the other guy, and I was telling you, and I told it on every single pre-show that I was on, that I wanted Finn Balor, because I would love for you to swerve us all. And we can still do AJ versus Nakamura because we still have to figure that nonsense out. Yep. And it's really depressing that we're not on the table for Finn Balor versus Brock.
Yeah.
Because...
but be hopeful, and we'll talk about it when the time is right. The Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar has gone from me...
A lock?
From stone to pen to erasable pen.
Yeah, right.
See what I'm saying?
Right, because there's a lot of nonsense that's happened to Roman Reigns over the year, and one of the things is the explosion that is arguably the best professional wrestler alive today.
Yep.
Not technically, but I mean just like... This guy is so pro wrestling.
The way the Ultimate Warrior was a pro wrestler.
Right, where it's just like, holy moly, Braun Strowman, you're the whole thing.
The wrestling show... Raw, the wrestling show would tell you that Roman Reigns is losing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And but at the same time, Braun Strowman is on a warpath.
And he keeps getting screwed out of this. Like, it's the weirdest thing, right? So in theory, we're going to have Roman Reigns beat Brock Lesnar because they both retired The Undertaker, while this guy is flipping over the stage, trucks, ambulances, and he keeps he's not losing the championship matches. He's losing out because Kane.
He's not involved in the decision.
Right, I'm not involved in the decision, and I'm kicking the crap out of you.
That's why he wasn't in the Royal Rumble, because they didn't want him to win.
Right.
You know what I mean? And maybe if the Royal Rumble was in a month, maybe he would.
I think you're right.
Maybe.
You
know what I mean?
I can't wait, because I don't, look, I know it's going to be a series of cables and pulleys, and it's already there. But it's going to be awesome when that dude picks up the elimination chamber.
The spot I would go with Braun Strowman if I could
rip the door off one of the cells.
What I would do is I would sometime on Raw between now and then, I would just chalk it up to a loss and say, we're losing a ring. And I would have the WrestleMania sign actually be directly above the ring that week, and have him just yank that thing, and the WrestleMania sign comes crashing through the ring.
Jesus
Christ.
And just, you know what I mean?
Right.
That's what I would do. To just be like, And it's just, look at the symbolism. It's like, this WrestleMania, I'm just going to destroy this whole thing.
Right.
Unless I get what I want.
We got to bring G-Rod on, so I'll leave you with this. But also watching Kurt Angle just turn into Kermit the Frog from the Muppet Show.
The best Kurt Angle segment ever. Braun, 1 week, Braun. Can I have 1 week?
Please, please.
I told you this. He acted so well, I'm convinced they're starting to take the things Braun breaks out of his check.
Yeah, right.
Because he's just like, Braun, 1 week. Everything I bring, you break, Braun. Everything.
Yeah.
And then I order new stuff, and you break that too.
Yeah, you tore down the set twice.
Good job, Kurt Angle. But we are. This is the time to talk about the men's Royal Rumble. We're going to talk about the women's Royal Rumble, Ronda Rousey, everything else from the weekend with you with open phone lines in just a few minutes. But we are going to hone in on the men's Royal Rumble winner because we have a network affiliate. The best affiliates in all of pro wrestling are on the New Age Insiders Network. G-Rod is no exception. He's a huge Shinsuke Nakamura fan, so we thought, hey, he was there. He saw it. He's a huge fan. What better guy to have on and talk about the 2018 Royal Rumble than Glenn Rodriguez from The Rant with Ant. You know him as G-Rod and Songs for the Moment on New Age Pop. G-Rod, thanks so much for joining us. It was amazing seeing you this weekend.
For sure, man. It was a really, really good time. I enjoyed it very much.
I think we all needed it.
I also thoroughly enjoyed walking around that post-apocalyptic zombie wasteland that we walked around for like a solid morning.
I was surprised at how bad the neighborhood was with Pat and Gino's.
Yeah, there was that, but no. G-Rod and I went to like Cape May in New Jersey.
Oh, sure.
Saturday morning,
Sure.
and I forget the name of the pier, but we walked around these two just empty towns. I mean, they're clearly like vacation places, and there'll be more people than they know what to do with in the summer.
Yeah.
But there was nobody there, and it was just like, man, we should just come and film a zombie movie here.
Yeah,
because there's nobody. There's
Did
no
a tumbleweed
cars.
go by?
Yeah, several.
Awesome. G-Rod, Shinsuke Nakamura is your 2018 Royal Rumble winner. Wasn't a huge shock to fans that kind of stay plugged into the internet because the betting odds he had been the odds-on favorite for the better part of a week going up, and then the day of the Rumble they just skyrocketed. So it really seemed like, for all the spoilers that Vegas is even giving us now because we can't escape them, a lot of people thought Shinsuke Nakamura was going in, but I think you have to hold your breath when John Cena and Roman Reigns are in the Final Four, no?
Oh, yeah, you definitely have to. Like, first of all, the Vegas odds thing for pro wrestling is the stupidest thing ever. I just wanted to get that out there. I can't stand it. I mean, yeah, it was cool seeing Nakamura being number one and just get my hopes up and everything. But in the end, I just think sports betting as a whole is weird. But that's just me. But with John Cena and Roman Reigns as your final, in the final three, final four, you always have to hold your breath because they're the guys. John Cena's been the guy forever. Roman Reigns is the guy now. And, I know a lot of people don't like them. And would have been bad if they won? To me, I like them both. I would just want to see someone new. And that's why I was holding out hope for Nakamura or Finn Balor or just someone we haven't seen. Hell, I was even thinking Braun was going to come out and win just because. But
or that's how it ends. Braun just throws everybody out.
Yeah.
Here's the thing about I want to give Roman Reigns some real credit here. And maybe I'm giving almost WWE more credit here, or maybe no one deserves credit. It's just the fact of the matter, and here's what it is, right? But for fans' sanity, here's a really fun way to look at Roman Reigns. During the John Cena era, right, that specific 10-year window where he must have been batting 900, right?
Yeah.
John Cena, you always were like, hey, maybe he'll lose this big match, but then he didn't. All of them. The only big match I can think of John Cena losing is versus The Rock the first time. And, I know he lost to CM Punk in Chicago, but that was because, come on. You know what I mean? But even then, you couldn't count John Cena out, right?
Right.
Rob Van Dam, he lost, but that's because the circumstances had to be so crazy. It's like, well, there's 15,000 people in Chicago that might jump the barricade, and then there's 15,000 people in Philly that might jump the barricade, and in the Hammerstein or wherever the hell, in Jersey or whatever the hell they were, and so that's what has to happen for John Cena to lose. Roman Reigns loses more frequently than that, but the reason I bring that up is this. All those times you got that suspenseful feeling that, oh my God, it's down to my guy and John Cena. You had that false hope that John Cena might lose, but he didn't.
Yeah.
With Roman Reigns, there have been many big matches he hasn't won, and the coolest thing about it is, look, I think he's supposed to be, a gun to my head, supposed to be a babyface, even though he's clearly not traditional, and they call him a tweener, whatever. If you make me give him one, he's a babyface. He constantly takes on heels. That makes him the face. That's how this company works. But at the same time, we all know what he is, including the back, and they knew that to make Shinsuke Nakamura's Rumble win go from a big deal to popping champagne is the fact that it was
He
down
has to beat this guy.
It was down to him and Reigns, and you know Roman Reigns can win any match at any time, anywhere, and Brock is looming, and so of course he can win this one because we all think he's going to face Brock. So credit to WWE, the storytelling and everything, that now we've got, this is the first heel in the company that is really a heel, because the heels in the 80s and 90s lost. So you got all this nervousness and tension and build-up, but then your guy won, and it felt good. The gap with Cena was your guy never won, and you never got to feel good.
Right. Roman Reigns does, people don't want to believe it, right? But with Roman Reigns, he does lose more often than not in these big spots.
He dropped the IC title to a turnbuckle spot.
Right. And you look at it, and you get to appease both fan bases, right? Because you get to appease the internet mark people that are like, Roman sucks, and because he loses. And then you appease the kids and his fans that are like, I love Roman Reigns because he came up short. Oh, he's going to get it. And then Roman Reigns is going to get it at one point.
Yep.
And
he's going to beat Brock.
He's going to beat Brock, but he's going to lose everything up to it.
Right.
And
so credit to them.
They knew what they were doing.
Even if it's untraditional, man, this guy's a great wrestling heel again, because it's a guy you want to lose, and most of the time, or enough of the time, he actually does. G-Rod, are you excited for Shinsuke Nakamura versus AJ Styles, and will that be the match of the night for WrestleMania? G-Rod.
Yeah, guys, I'm still here.
Okay. Shinsuke Nakamura versus AJ Styles. First of all, the only match in history that will wind up main eventing a Wrestle Kingdom and a WrestleMania.
I know.
And that will always be the fact. That'll always be a piece of trivia. That'll never happen again.
No.
Right? Because did Brock and Angle, that wasn't Wrestle Kingdom, right?
They don't even account Brock Lesnar.
Exactly.
They don't even count him.
He's like a monster that came through and ruined the city.
Yeah, Godzilla showed up,
Kurt
took
Angle
the
saved
title,
us, saved
and
Japan.
then Kurt Angle came and took it. I think he beat Nakamura.
Yeah, Nakamura beat him, I think. Oh, he beat Nakamura.
He beat Nakamura.
Right,
Angle beat Nakamura. Right. Angle beat Brock.
G-Rod, the first match to ever main event Wrestle Kingdom and WrestleMania. Are you excited for AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura, and will it be the match of the night?
I think it will be match of the night. I think they're going to deliver a masterpiece. Guys, let me tell you, just seeing Nakamura win first, and I knew he was going to pick AJ Styles. It's just the match that has to happen. I broke down. I had a rough week. I made up for such a crazy week, and just to see him, pull it out, and it was just, it's beyond words. But this match is going to be match of the night for sure. I'm really excited to be there with all you and be able to experience two amazing workers on the planet. They're going to deliver something we are all going to remember for years to come, for sure.
G-Rod, what did you think of that spot, that moment, that old guard confronting the new guard and then a new guard member won? Just how much symbolism are we supposed to take out of that as fans?
It was one of those... I don't think I remember anything like that in the past where we've seen something like that. And it's just... I don't know. It was unique. It just made the story of that Rumble even more special, because I don't know, it was just something different about it. I can't even give you exactly how I thought. I remember sitting next to Cody Benoit. That's who I sat with, and we just looked at each other like, wow, this is a great moment. There was a lot of good moments in that match, but that was one of the standout moments for sure.
What about Shinsuke Nakamura excites you the most? Why are you so happy about this? And just how big a step is this for him? Is this the biggest step you've seen a guy take in how long, to go from a guy that was just sort of like tagging with Randy Orton, yay, I'm here, to winning the Royal Rumble? How surprised were you? My first question really is, how surprised were you to hear that over the last couple of weeks or so he became the favorite to win the Royal Rumble? Because that pleasantly surprised me, but definitely did surprise me.
Oh, yeah, I'm the same way, pleasantly surprised. The there was rumblings, and I just didn't want to believe it because I just thought, they were either going to go with Roman or maybe we even get Finn Balor, which I would have been fine with either. I like both, but just to see someone who came in really hot in the NXT and he comes up on the main roster, does a thing with Dolph, does a thing with Jinder, like goes to wrestle John Cena, beats him for the chance to wrestle Jinder for the title. Nothing goes right with that, and he's just kind of been, just streamlining and everything, and now he's the number one contender for the WWE Championship, going to wrestle at WrestleMania against AJ Styles. It's so good for him, and it's so good for fans of him that been fans of him since New Japan have been following him. But it's also cool to see new fans come in. It's like, I like this guy. This guy's new. This guy's different. His gimmick is out of this world. He truly is like a rock star for sure. I mean, I know that's overplayed, but he really is.
G-Rod, does he win?
Something's telling me he's not going to win, but everyone else is telling me that he is. I don't know. I can't put my finger on it right now. All I know is the match is going to be great.
I kind of feel like Styles is going to win too, but at the end of the night, we're not going to care.
Yeah, it's
not going to matter.
I think it's going to be great.
Both these guys fight forever. Right. All that.
And then there's
nonsense.
Doesn't mean it has to be the only time we do it. G-Rod, thank you so much for joining us and talking Nakamura. I'm really excited as well. Like I said, fans needed this. We all needed this. I'm really glad that you got to be there live and see it. And I think it was a really special moment, one that we're not going to forget. You can find G-Rod on the Rant with Ant. Songs for the Moment on New Age Pop. Thanks so much for joining us, buddy, and we look forward to talking and seeing you real soon.
Yeah, man, thank you so much. Shout out to Bob Bird.
Okay, yeah, right. to Robert Rue. Thank you so much, G-Rod. All right, we are going to take a quick break, and when we come back, the phone lines will be open at 508-202-1624. Ronda Rousey, Asuka, who's going to match up where, all reactions from the Royal Rumble.
So,
anything you want to talk about, 508.
Anything.
508-202-1624. Anything from the Royal Rumble is on the table.
I was saying anything.
Sure, I mean, give us a call. We'll chat. That's really what Be Heard is for, but that's fine.
Yeah.
That's the Patreon show on patreon.com/New Age Insiders. You submit the questions, and we answer them no matter what they are, wrestling or otherwise. But we are going to be talking to you about Royal Rumble weekend, 508-202-1624. Give us a call. Ronda Rousey, Asuka, and a whole lot more when we come back.
I'm DC Matthews, the Pope of Positivity.
And I'm Doc Manson, the only actual doctor talking about wrestling on the entire internet, at least until facts prove otherwise.
And each weekend on the NAI Network, DC and Doc talk. We might talk about wrestling, but we probably won't.
Maybe I'll just eat a bowl of cereal for 30 minutes, live, on the air.
It's entirely possible.
It's happened before.
Check out DC and Doc talk every weekend on the NAI Network.
It's pretty crazy, but NAI Pod has now been downloaded on 6 continents and has thousands of weekly listeners.
Yeah, step it up, Antarctica.
Does that make us intercontinental champions?
Kinda. But it also means NAI Pod is a great way to advertise your business, brand, or website.
If you would like to advertise with the New Age Insiders, shoot us an email, newageinsiders@gmail.com.
Tap into a constantly growing audience, advertise with the New Age Insiders, and take your business to main event heights. Send your emails to newageinsiders@gmail.com. That's newageinsiders@gmail.com.
You know the New Age Insiders Wrestling Show is the premier place for wrestling fans to connect, discuss, and to be heard.
But what if we told you that there's also a show for fans of all kinds to do the same?
That show is Late Night Liam. Show hosted by myself, Liam Stryker.
And me, Bill Neville. Join us immediately following NAI Pod every Wednesday as we dive into pop culture, sports, current events, and more.
Can't listen live? No worries. Late Night Liam can be downloaded on demand exclusively on the NAI Network channel. Available on iTunes, Stitcher, Podomatic, and all podcast platforms.
Once again, join Late Night Liam live every Wednesday following NAI Pod.
When you and fans of all kinds can connect, discuss, and be heard.
Let's get back to more of the New Age Insiders. Here's Jason Maltov, Liam Stryker, and Bill Neville.
Funny that you look at both of these Royal Rumbles, and they were identical almost. You had the old established guard pairing off against the new guy that we all like. And they both happen to be Japanese. It was very weird.
Yeah, what a momentous leap for Japanese wrestling in that company.
I know. Well, it's like, this is the thing, and I think that the Royal Rumble was amazing for a lot of reasons because it felt like a different show, and I feel even more so that way at how SmackDown and Raw were treated.
Yeah, the new
this
graphics,
week.
the new music,
everything.
Yeah,
and
it's going to be a really, really fun WrestleMania season.
But everything, this feels like a new show, and one of the things is that the fans have proven that it doesn't matter if these people speak English or not. The work in the ring is so high that it doesn't matter. I'm invested in these people. Asuka screaming at the camera in Japanese is the most terrifying thing that I've ever seen.
Yeah, exactly.
Honestly. She could be saying, I love unicorns and fluffy bunnies, and I love to pet my cat.
I came here to have some fun. I brought peanut butter. Anybody have bread? And it's just like, ah!
Yeah, and then she's just like, nobody's ready for Asuka. And I'm like, yeah, no, nobody is. I don't know what you said before that, but I agree.
What I'm really excited for, we already have a call on the line. We do want to hear from you guys. 508-202-1624. We're going to blast through as many calls as we can to give you guys an opportunity to talk about what happened over the weekend. One of the biggest moments, obviously, from the weekend happened after Asuka won, which was Ronda Rousey. My thoughts on that really quick before we get into more detail on Rousey.
It's not about you, okay?
I know. Is this. My only trepidation with Ronda Rousey was I didn't want her to win the Royal Rumble.
Right.
Everybody else had built.
Yep.
And then I didn't want her to be the first person to beat Asuka if that was going to be right away.
Yep.
Asuka won the match. Rousey got the moment. That's already well done. And because I firmly believe Rousey's going after Charlotte, or tagging with The Rock, which is what the reports are they want her to do. Now, if she does face Asuka, it'll probably be no earlier than 6 months down the road, and maybe then, quite frankly, it will be time for her to beat Asuka. I don't know.
Yep.
I am so optimistic about Ronda Rousey because, in a nutshell, it's this. She's a premier athlete who's setting her mind to something. What in the world makes you think she's going to fail?
You're 1,000,000% right. The other thing, too, is you have to look at all of the other people that came before her that were in the same boat, and they've all been fantastic. Chief of among them, Kurt Angle.
Right.
Kurt Angle came. The thing is that this isn't a boxer. This is an MMA wrestler. So she has judo and ground. So, basically, and I said this to you in the car the other night. Oh, so what you're telling me is that instead of trying to get body position to put this person in the throw, which is the hardest part of combat sports, it's, they're just going to go there and I can just do it?
And they're going to help me?
They're going to help me? Oh, yeah, sure.
And the biggest thing, and Bill brought this point up too, and he's so right. She's an actual wrestling fan.
Right.
She knows what this is supposed to look like.
Yep.
And that's a big, big advantage for her, as opposed to somebody out there going and play. Like, I think Shayna Baszler's going to play wrestler for a while, right? And so will Rousey, but I think she's going to take this like I said. I think she might take it to a fish to water. She might suck. I don't know. But again, what makes you think that a premier fighting athlete is going to put her mind to something and not succeed?
Also,
and here's the thing, quite frankly, I'm not trying to be a dick here. If Alexa Bliss can do it, Ronda Rousey can do it.
You're absolutely right.
You know what I mean?
I love Alexa Bliss, but you're absolutely right.
But you're a cheerleader.
Yeah, you were a cheerleader.
You're a cheerleader.
You were a cheerleader and a gymnast.
And this chick at one point
was the baddest chick on the planet.
And would beat... did you ever read the report that Ronda Rousey once got harassed when she was leaving a movie theater and beat up 3 men?
Yeah, of course that. I didn't hear that, but yeah, no, that
happened. She was getting harassed and she beat up 3 guys.
I could imagine. Her fights lasted 15 seconds.
Yeah, and that's the other thing, and we'll get to that too. We have a call on the line, I know. But I'm glad she's going after Asuka, to Charlotte, because again, this is no disrespect.
Or The Rock, with The Rock and Hunter.
Right, because this is no disrespect to a great performer, but if she doesn't beat Alexa Bliss in less than 10 seconds, you've created an unbelievable match.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Charlotte, we can tell a story.
Yeah.
If she doesn't beat Alexa Bliss in 10 seconds, it's an unbelievable thing because the average Ronda Rousey fight up until her loss was 14.
Right. I would also love to watch Ronda Rousey get into the ring with Triple H. Like they're going to try and enforce.
They won't do it, but if they do the tag, Rousey shouldn't tap out Stephanie. Doesn't mean anything. She should tap out Hunter.
Right.
That's
right.
That's the
well,
spot.
we all definitely want to watch it where it's just like, oh, Stephanie tagged in Hunter. You got to tag in now, and she's like, no.
Yeah, I'm good.
No, I'm good. I got this.
Right, and she has to beat Hunter.
Yeah.
We'll talk about
that'd
it.
be great.
508-202-1624. We already have a call. I think she's going to be great. We already have a call on the line. It's somebody who was also out there Royal Rumble weekend and joined us. What's going on, Nick?
Sweet jacket.
You did have a sweet jacket. What's going on, Nick?
I did. Liam loved the jacket. Liam told me I had to wear the jacket to the Rumble. It was a lot of fun. I appreciate Liam, the love earlier in the show. I love you too. It was great hanging with you guys at the Royal Rumble this weekend. It was a lot of fun.
Nick, I got to ask, how's Izzy?
Oh, God, don't start that.
All right, so I'm going to touch on this very quickly before I get into
We're going to get arrested if we keep doing this.
But before this gets out, I met Izzy a couple of years ago, her and her family at SummerSlam. I met them again a couple of days ago at Icons of Wrestling. They're great people, all three of them, Cody, his wife, and Izzy, all great people. So these guys make up a joke that we have a thing now. So if you guys hear that, it's not real. It's a little thing that they made up. It's a lot of fun, though.
You guys spent a lot of time together this weekend, though,
anyway,
didn't you? You guys spent a lot of time together.
Here's the thing. I'm pretty sure she's like 11.
Let's say it. It's just funny. All right, Nick, what'd you think of the Royal Rumble?
Somehow it was fake, because me and Sho showed up to NXT, and she's literally sitting right next to us. But the men's Royal Rumble match was so well constructed to where Finn came out first, got a nice pop with Rusev, and then when there's like nothing going on, Elias comes out so he could sing his song, and then out comes CN, and everything just seemed to flow really nicely. I think it was one of the best men's Rumbles in the past X amount of years ever, whatever you want to put it. And I think it was the correct winner. I've been talking to you guys about it on the post shows and whatever, like, will we get this match? And, Jason, I know you were floating, yes, no, going on and off. And I really had faith. I think I called it on the show. It must have been June or something like that. I really thought that Nakamura winning in Philly was the right call to get the pop from the Philly fans, and it would be a real great way to push him to the moon and to show that he could be in his main event. So I think as a whole, the people we got in the Rumble, like Ray and Andrade and all that, I think it was a great Rumble match overall.
The Hurricane?
Yeah, he was the spot of the night. And, Nick, it's going to be way easier for people to accept the Raw Championship match that is most likely going to happen when they get the SmackDown match. That will be the only thing you remember for 10 years. When
and
you talk
I
about
also
that show.
said this, where it's like, give the fans the moment, because we don't need the plot device of the Royal Rumble to get to Brock versus Roman.
Not only that, you know what else you did? You kept your crowd with the way you placed the card and where the men fell, which was mid-card, just literally in the middle of the card. You saved the women's hopes.
Yeah.
Because quite frankly, if Roman Reigns had won the Royal Rumble, you would have lost that crowd.
Yes.
You would have lost that crowd, and we wouldn't have been in nearly as good a mood. The average fan in that building wouldn't have been in nearly as good a mood for everything that was to come, which was historic and great stuff.
So instead, the only people that suffered was Seth Rollins, Jason Jordan, and The Bar.
Yeah. Well, I'll take it.
Right.
Nick, it was awesome to see you. You do have a sweet jacket. We always enjoy seeing you on these meetups, buddy, and we will talk to you real soon. We appreciate it, pal.
Can't wait, guys. Thank you.
You got it. 508-202-1624. We saw a couple people trying to call in when Nick was calling. We don't have multiple lines yet. If you want to help us
subscribe to the Patreon.
Become a Patreon on patreon.com/NewAgeInsiders. Go to represent.com/NewAgeInsiders to pick up sweatshirts and t-shirts and awesome stuff. And then we can afford a phone with multiple phone lines, and then we can take even more calls. But don't give up. The phone lines are now open again. 508-202-1624. 508-202-1624. Really quick before we get another call and pot him up. What do we do with Seth Rollins now that he's no longer one half of the tag team champion?
I think he'll go after. It's so tough because Miz is something that makes a lot of sense.
I'd enjoy that. I wouldn't mind a Seth Rollins Miz WrestleMania program.
But that also feels like more of a Finn Balor, what we do with Finn Balor.
See, I think everything Finn Balor's doing for the immediate future is club related.
Right, and there's no reason why we can't do Club and Miz Taraj. So having the two of the groups kind of battle over the Intercontinental
title. It's really
title,
too bad that Ambrose is hurt, right?
It really is.
Because there's a chance that Dean Ambrose being hurt is the reason now that we absolutely have to put Roman Reigns in the main event of Raw. Not that we still do, because we said we'll have Braun Strowman. But
It's more likely than not because we have to have
This year kind of feels like a year they might have actually. It didn't feel like it
was
6
Shield
months
versus
ago.
the club.
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
Oh, well, we can easily plug in Braun for the title match, and everybody's going to love it.
Everybody's going to
And
love
then-
everything.
And then everybody's going to love the Shield versus the club.
Not only are they not going to hate the title match, they're actually going to love what Roman Reigns is involved in.
Right.
They're going to love it.
Right.
They're going to love it. And I think Balor would have won.
Right.
And they would have loved that too.
Or you just give it the win to Seth.
Yeah.
So Seth gets the pinfall, and everybody cheers anyway.
Exactly. It is for a lot of reasons too bad Ambrose
Right.
went down because that might have been the difference between Braun or not.
I know it's not, but here's the thing: the flip side to this is that what do we do with Seth Rollins? There's two people that come to mind immediately: Jason Jordan and Seth Rollins blow off, which is, but. Seth Rollins, Jason Jordan blow off at Elimination Chamber, which is the Raw show, and then we get Seth Rollins versus Kurt Angle because Kurt Angle won't wrestle Hunter because Hunter and Stephanie are taking on The Rock and Rousey.
If that goes down, I still want Hunter and Angle.
I still do too, but I also think that's
it's all about what The Rock does.
But that's a great card.
It's gonna be an awesome Mania.
Yeah.
Something about New Orleans just brings out the best in this company. It's crazy.
Yeah.
508-202-1624. 508-202-1624. We have a call?
Yeah, we have Josh in the UK. What's going on, Josh?
What's up,
like
bud?
5 a.m.
What's up, buddy?
You're a trooper.
Hi guys, how you doing?
Good. What time? It's like 3 a.m. out there, isn't it? You're amazing.
It's 2 a.m. So when you watch wrestling and you've been up for the past 4 nights watching it till 4 a.m., you get a pretty bad sleep schedule. But
Sure.
you
We
live
still
and learn
appreciate
in the
you.
UK.
This is just who you are as a person now, right, Justin? This is just who you are. This is when you wake up and when you go to bed. This is just the end of regular hours for you.
Yep, it's just an American sleeping schedule because everything I watch is live from America.
Well, here's the deal: just
Awesome.
move to Boston. It's lovely here.
Yeah, we'll show you around.
You're in England. You can come to New England.
Yeah, it won't be that hard of a transition. Yeah. So we'll come on down. We'll show you around. And we totally forgave you guys for that whole tea thing. So it's all
Yeah.
good, man. It's all good.
Yeah.
Justin, why'd you give us a call? What did you think of the Royal Rumble, and what do you think of Ronda Rousey? What's on your mind about a pretty big Rumble weekend?
Yeah. I love the Rumble. I thought start to finish it was a great show. A bit iffy on the.
I also called you
title
Justin
match.
3 times, so I'm sorry. It's Josh. I called you Justin. I called you that twice. I'm sorry. You're Josh.
Yeah, it's Josh.
I'm sorry, Josh. Go ahead.
It's all right. But the thing I want to talk about was Ronda Rousey, and I don't know if you've seen, but it was Nia Jax, the Bella Twins, and Sasha Banks have all now publicly put on Twitter and interviews how they're upset with Rousey coming to WWE.
Sure.
And kind of, they say, taking all their credit. Do you think this is just a story where we're going to have all the women turn on Rousey because she's not a wrestler, she's not one of them, she hasn't worked in the wrestling business? Or is this just women legitimately upset someone's come in and kind of taken all the limelight off their historic match and onto her appearance?
Josh, I am so glad you brought this up because it's definitely worth talking about. Here's the thing. Here's the reason why I want to believe it's a work, right? I want to believe that these women are kind of playing up to the story and adding an extra kind of thick layer to this thing for the sake of enticing you on camera. What I would say is I have not... we kind of got spoiled by Jericho and Omega being masterminds. WWE doesn't often take it to Twitter unless it's real. Now, there are definitely examples of guys building on stuff online that was to increase storylines and angles and things. You know, like Miz and Corbin, but I think that might have even started with a real seed of content that just turned into worked itself into a shoot, brother.
I feel like Matt Hardy,
he tried. So there's examples of that, but here's what I would say, Josh. If these women were coming out and saying, oh, Ronda Rousey thinks she can just walk in here and take the title. You got another thing coming, sister. You know what I mean? Or like, you know, and if Nia Jax was like, not, you know, Ronda Rousey was the biggest deal in the octagon, but this is the squared circle.
Right, playing up, this is the big leagues.
Right, I'd be like, okay, they're working the new girl. But for it to be like, we
worked so hard for this,
and
for you to just show up
and take it away from us, that to me feels
like
real.
sour grapes.
And maybe I'm not giving them enough credit. Maybe they're just working me so great that I'm in. But there's always these things like specific verbiage. Like I go to this point every single time it happens. And I was right again. I'm sorry, but I was. When Neville walked out and everybody was like, it's a work.
Yeah.
people being so unhappy with their work conditions, it becomes a work has never happened. Even Punk was really gonna leave.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Right. He signed that contract the day
Right.
of.
So if Neville had like Dolph Ziggler dropping the belt on TV and walking away, work. He did it on TV.
Right.
But with Neville, the story being unhappy with creative
and just stopped going.
Right. We don't talk about creative decision. That's the case. No, WWE would never be like, yes, say you hate your booking. You know what I mean? That's never ever their approach. And I doubt their approach would be, wow, I worked so hard and this chick comes and takes my spotlight. Way to go. That again, it's just the verbiage that feels like there are some people not psyched about this.
Right.
That might be it. What, Josh? Do you get that vibe as well, or do you think that they're just?
I'd like.
Josh,
I'd like to think it's a work because I think you have to look at it. Would the women have main evented that pay-per-view if Rousey wasn't going to show up? Because I don't think they would do. I think the only reason they went on last is because there's no way Ronda Rousey's coming out in her appearance to not main event that pay-per-view. And Ronda Rousey's going to put so many more eyes on that product. Although it might be a bitter pill to swallow for them, she is going to be the biggest draw in that company.
Ronda Rousey
in the women's
moves
division,
the
at
needle
least
in
by
the
far.
Josh, she's going to make them all richer, and you know what's going to seal that point? There was this amazing picture I saw online. I can't take credit, but I saw it online. It was a picture of Austin shoving Tyson, and it said, Stone Cold must have been so angry with this boxer walking in and taking all his attention. I bet Austin's never forgiven Mike Tyson for coming in and grabbing the spotlight.
Yeah.
Showing you how stupid you sound when you think Ronda Rousey's here and that's a bad thing.
Yeah.
Sorry, Tamina. This is the biggest women's athlete star in the world. The end.
Yeah.
The end.
And she moves the needle exactly how Brock moves the needle.
Exactly.
Where there are going to be MMA fans that are fans of hers that are going to give wrestling a shot.
I said this to you.
There.
I said this to you. It's almost a shame we're going to debut her at Mania because I already know I'm going to sell so many subscriptions to Mania.
It would be better if it was Elimination Chamber.
There will be tens of thousands of people that watch just because they want to see what she does.
Yep.
Seriously.
And it's a dumb business move because the first month is free, so you should get them for.
I know.
You should get them for Fastlane so that they have to then pay for Mania.
Right. Exactly. No, you're right. Josh, great call and great question, man. Thanks so much for giving us a call. Get some sleep when you feel like it, but we hope you enjoy the rest of the show.
You too. Cheers. Have a good one.
Thanks so much, man. Because you're right. If you've got a problem with Ronda Rousey coming in here and making all of you richer, you are so stupid. It's stupid.
Yeah.
Like,
welcome to Stupid Town.
You're like the only person in the women's division close is Charlotte because, sorry, you're Ric Flair's daughter.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's it. There's no one close. Ronda Rousey, name any female athlete in the world, and I will tell you that Ronda Rousey's a bigger name than them.
Right.
The end.
It's yes.
The end. This chick coming here is the best thing that ever happened to you.
Oh, it
and
is.
I'm sorry, but here's the other thing. You know what she didn't do? She didn't win the Royal Rumble.
Right.
She didn't put Asuka and Charlotte and Alexa Bliss in arm bars.
Yeah,
you know what I
right.
mean? She goes, here I am. I'm the biggest star in the world. See you Sunday.
Well, Asuka got the match, and then Rousey got an additional moment.
And you know why? It's the same reason I say that The Rock, again, who was also not working, he was shooting. In 2011, you can look at his archive tweets. In 2011, he even added him. He goes, hey, CM Punk, you know why I'm here? Because I'm a bigger star than you, period.
Yeah.
And he was right then like he's right now.
Yeah.
And you know what? Sorry, Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss, Asuka. You know what I mean? Sorry, Nia Jax. You know, name anybody. Anybody.
Any of them.
This chick is 10 times as famous as you, and she's about to make you 10 times as famous as you were. This is nothing but a good thing. If you're not high on Ronda Rousey, that's fine. We like what we like. You might not like her. You might not like fighting. You might not love the idea of her being a #1 contender for a belt in her very first match.
But you know what? She's not even the #1 contender.
We don't even know that yet.
We don't even know that.
We don't even know that yet.
She might be wrestling Hunter and Stephanie.
Right, exactly. And then why are you so pissed?
And then why are you so pissed?
And all she was doing was telling the champions, I'm giving them a general notice.
Also, here's the thing. Do you really want Becky Lynch versus Charlotte at WrestleMania?
Or Ronda Rousey?
Or Ronda Rousey?
Come on. I can't wait to see what she does.
With the exception of Asuka, there is no match on the women's side for SmackDown that I haven't seen yet that I want to see. And
you don't want to watch Ronda Rousey versus Ric Flair's daughter? What's wrong with you?
Right.
You know what I mean? How can you possibly think Becky Lynch is going to give Charlotte the better match?
Right.
Well, she's earned it. Yep. And in the way that entertainment.
But again, I've seen it.
Yeah.
I've seen. Why do I can have something new? That is intriguing.
Do you think the cast of Fast and Furious was pissed The Rock joined?
No.
Maybe Tyrese. Right.
Yeah,
they don't get along. But you know what I mean?
Yeah. Right.
Like,
right.
Who's this guy think he is just walking in here being a bigger star? I don't know. The bigger star. Sorry.
Right.
My answer to you would be somehow figure out a way to become the girl Steve Austin.
Well, the other thing with the Fast and the Furious thing, it's like that The Rock gave that second life.
Yeah.
Right? He gave the Fast and the Furious franchise a second life. And that's what Ronda Rousey's doing for the women's evolution. We've now done it all. Right. We've now, with the exception of main eventing WrestleMania.
Yep.
We've done it all.
And they won't main event WrestleMania.
There's nothing.
And
you know what?
Rousey's the only one that would.
Rousey versus Charlotte might.
Is the only one that has a shot. That has a shot at it. You're right.
That's it.
Because it does. It's.
I think we got a call.
Right. Exactly. But it's the same thing as the American Revolution, right? Eventually, you have a revolution, you have a war, and then one day you're a country.
Right.
Right. And then eventually you become a huge country.
Yeah.
The revolution is over.
Yep.
Now we live in a present where Ronda Rousey thinks this is worth her time.
Yep.
You should look at her coming down that ramp as a triumph for you. You built a division so good. Ronda Rousey's here. The women that are upset about this are looking at it all wrong. 508-202-1624. Who we got?
On the line, we have Maddie in the UK. What's up, Maddie?
We're very popular in England.
Yeah. Here's the thing. If we came and did a show in England, would you all show up?
I would hope so.
Yeah, Maddie would go.
If we did like a tour,
I wouldn't.
Maddie, do you know how disappointed we would be if we went all the way to England and you were the one person that didn't show up?
I'd be too busy sleeping with people.
I'd never forget.
That'd be.
Well, as long as you get a viable excuse.
Yeah, that's a good enough excuse, I guess.
Maddie, what did you think of the Royal Rumble? What did you think of Ronda Rousey? What do you think
was great. What did you guys think of the KFC Royal Rumble? I mean, I was on my seat,
we heard
on
that
the edge of my seat, and the in-ring return of Ric Flair becoming the next KFC Colonel. I was just
it was so funny. We were so confused.
I was like, fuck the women's Royal Rumble. Fuck it. They have enough rights. They have enough rights. These women. Fuck the women's Royal Rumble. I'm going home. This Royal Rumble has just sold it with me with the KFC Royal Rumble. Ric Flair in his in-ring return. Ric Flair doing some awkward Rusev over the ropes spot, and I was like, "Fuck this!" And I walked out of the bar and went home and had a wank.
Thank you, Maddie.
Maddie, the end. Maddie, we walked into the building and heard Ric Flair's music, and we were like, "What's going on?" And we peeked down. We went down in just to see. And Stryker goes, "What's going on?" I go, "It's Colonel Ric Flair." He goes, "All right," and we just keep on going to our seats. Because that was
I don't need any more of that.
That was something else. Maddie, what did you think of the Royal Rumble and the show and Ronda Rousey and all that good stuff, other than the Kentucky Fried Chicken Colonel Royal Rumble that Ric Flair triumphantly?
I literally can't remember anything else other than that. It was just an imprint on my mind. But
That's so funny.
My God, two Japanese wrestlers winning the Royal Rumble. What a history maker. No, I don't care. And the 70-year-old man just became the new KFC Colonel. Can you shut the fuck down with your history maker? Can you please show respect for Colonel Flair here?
I also love that the decision making in the back was probably like, Vince, we need to put over the new people. Asuka and Nakamura are going over. I gotta have somebody.
Yeah, right.
Well, fine. Who do you want to win the KFC Royal Rumble? Flair, damn it! Oh, fine, Vince, fine. Flair can win the KFC Rumble.
Imagine if the original plan was Nakamura.
Yeah, we were supposed to flip Flair and Nakamura.
Nakamura did so well in his the practice sessions for the KFC Rumble that they're like, I don't know, there's something about this kid. Maybe we should move him up in the card.
Yeah, we should put him in the main. We should win the main Rumble.
And then he gave an extra crispy performance.
Well,
and,
he did give an extra crispy performance.
He won the whole thing. All right,
finger licking performance.
Well, you know what, Maddie? Good night. I'm going to leave it at that. Your thoughts from the Royal Rumble were KFC related,
and that's
I'm going to let you go out on top.
Yeah,
you're Colonel Flair. We all have memories, and Colonel Flair is the reigning Royal Rumble winner in Maddie's heart. And you know what? That's good enough for me.
Yeah,
you're going to New Orleans,
nice
right?
Talking to you guys.
Yeah, you're going to New Orleans, right?
I am going to New Orleans, and I am looking forward to seeing who else is the next KFC Colonel.
Yes, well, I think that's why we all go.
I could be the NEI. I'm the NEI Colonel.
You're not even from America. You'd have to be like one of the NEI Whig or Tory or something. I don't know, House of Parliament, whatever you got over there, or you could be a Parliament Slim. It's a cigarette joke. All right, Maddie, we love you so much. We'll talk to you real soon, and we'll see you in New Orleans.
Because we got to go do a Patreon show.
Yeah, we can't wait. All right.
Bye, Maddie.
We might take one more if you call. If not, we'll wrap it up. 508-202-1624. They're calling. 508-202-1624.
One more.
Well, this will be the final call we take, and we wrap up. And if you want to hear more from the New Age Insiders, patreon.com/New Age Insiders. We'll take a little bit this over to the Patreon and then rapid fire some segments, including the XFL, and just sort of maybe more fun stories from the Rumble weekend, and including Tinklegate.
Yeah.
If you want to hear want to hear about Tinklegate and the controversial pee heard round the bathroom, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it with you on Patreon. But I can't stress this enough how I am so psyched about Ronda Rousey, and they handled it perfectly.
Yeah.
She's the biggest star. She goes on last. No problem. Done deal. No problem. If the women are going on last, we put the biggest star on last. That's Ronda Rousey. Done. No problem. End of argument. But Asuka won. Asuka won the Royal Rumble. And really quick before we get to the call and wrap things up, I don't want to let this slip out of my mind. This is maybe the biggest step, singularity. We talk about the women, right? And how many steps they've taken.
Yep.
I don't think the women took as one giant big a step as Japanese stars did in this company on Sunday, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Taka Michinoku getting called a little Chinese guy while we instant replay 5 times him breaking his face.
Yep.
We make the joke all the time. Yokozuna was Samoan.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And we always talked about it. I think we need to actually kind of come up with a roster of the names we come up with for these guys.
Sure.
But we make fun of it, but Shinsuke Nakamura we were like, he's going to be called Kiki $5.
Exactly. Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. He's gonna be like Kiki Maki.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And he wasn't. And he's awesome. And Asuka is undefeated. She's been here for years.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
We've gone out of our way to have her actively pass Goldberg and
make a big deal about it.
And I still have no flipping idea when she's going to lose, because I think she's going to win a WrestleMania. She might not lose for another year. She might be in the 300s.
It's going to be such a. This is why you got to keep her away from Charlotte,
right?
Because maybe the main event of WrestleMania could be, if we're gonna do women, could be Rousey versus Charlotte, but it could also be Charlotte Flair versus an undefeated 4-year undefeated Asuka.
I got to admit now, I instantly think the big is Asuka, the undefeated buzzsaw, versus Ronda Rousey.
Versus an undefeated Ronda Rousey.
Ronda Rousey. I think this is the new match, because you can both believe in their own way they're the best, the scariest women on the planet.
Well, that's what I said when we were talking about it. If you don't have them square off and one goes to one champion, one goes to the other, that means they're on separate shows.
Yep.
And you keep them on the separate shows, and you just keep them as champion for forever until we decide that it's time.
This is going to be great. We've got a call on the line. Did they drop? 508-202-1624. We'll give you one last chance to give us a call. You were on the line. You dropped. 508-202-1624. If not, we're just going to wrap this thing up and head on over to Patreon. Yep. What are your final thoughts, reactions on the Royal Rumble? Something which we didn't talk about at all.
Oh, yeah.
And so let's do that really quick just because we didn't. What did you think of AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn? What's kind of next there? What did you think of Brock Lesnar versus Braun Strowman versus Kane? What's kind of next there?
So the AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn ends in controversial fashion.
Owens and Zayn at Mania, yeah?
Yeah, it has to be. That kind of feels like what we're getting to now because they're going to fight next week for a right to face AJ Styles. So, yeah, it feels like we're going back there. We're going back to that well. Even though
they can fight for the last time again.
Yeah, they're going to fight for the last time again at WrestleMania, even though it should be for a championship at some point.
Yeah, but I'm totally okay with Nakamura and
AJ.
Styles.
Yeah, AJ and Nakamura.
That one's better than Owens and Zayn. Sorry, it is.
Yeah, right. Well, again, just for the fact that I hasn't seen it before, at least here.
Right.
I haven't seen it
And the one time I did, it took your breath away.
Right, and that was a couple years ago, so it's not...
Do the bullet thing.
Yeah, right. And then I think that Braun Strowman versus Brock Lesnar versus Kane was executed very, very well. We got everything we needed. Braun Strowman kicked so much ass that he was going to win. Brock Lesnar is the savvy veteran that just keeps coming out with a win. I don't want to say squeak out with a win because that doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
Like he wins, but he just finds a way to win.
I think what it is basically like just these three monsters are all exhausted, but Brock had a quarter of a tank left and they were all on empty.
Well, and you played it out well where it's like, yeah, Braun nailed the final nail in Kane's coffin. And then Brock Lesnar was able to just get it.
Real quick, how about that receipt? How about Brock, you can tell just getting sick and tired of getting worked stiff by Braun Strowman and showing him that you can be bigger than me, that's fine. I am the baddest man on the planet. Because the last time we saw it was in the Royal Rumble like 2 years ago. Strowman worked Brock wicked stiff, and that's when he did that thing where Brock Lesnar flew halfway across the ring with a big flying knee. You know what I mean? And was like, no, you will not work me stiff, and if you do, I am Brock Lesnar, and I will throw my knee into your torso, and you will never do that again. And then he did, and Braun gave him that forearm, and Brock Lesnar just got up and gave him a two-piece.
Yeah.
Left, right. I am Brock Lesnar, and if you work me at a 10, I'll work you at a 10, and my 10 will knock you out.
Right.
Did you see Braun after that one that like moved every bone in his head?
Yeah, it was a slow-mo punch from Rocky.
But then he got up and he was like, whoa, and then you could just see him like literally like a dog go on all fours and be like, I'm sorry. Please don't hit me again. I'm sorry. Like, it was like a dog who bit you for the first time, then the owner just smacked him. He's like, okay, I'm not the bigger dog here. Whoa, not the bigger dog here.
Yeah, right. Sorry.
Brock Lesnar's incredible. Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited for WrestleMania season. I think it's going to be unbelievable. Not just because we're going. I'm almost kind of, so spoiled. I'm almost kind of used to going.
Yeah.
Now I'm just so excited for this card, for these people. There's a great chance that this is one of the best WrestleManias ever.
Yeah.
Literally ever. I am thrilled. I am pumped. And I think as wrestling fans, we talk about this all the time. Stay positive. Stay motivated. Stay energized. Enjoy it. There's things to enjoy. This is a fun one.
Yeah.
Nakamura won the Royal Rumble, not the old guard, the new guard. Asuka won the Royal Rumble, not the old guard, the new guard. Ronda Rousey's here. Raw has a new announce team. The graphics are fresh.
No.
SmackDown's trying all sorts of new things.
Yeah, they're feeling like a vlog. It's weird.
Yeah, it is. It's interesting. It's like a kid that just got MS Paint for the first time or something. But it's going to be a great run. We hope that we add to that run for you. We hope that we can give you the best coverage you've ever seen live on location. We have gigantic plans about what we're going to do out there to make you feel like you're coming with us. And if you are, how much fun you can have if you do. We are super excited for what's going down. Late Night Liam is after this show.
No, I think we're gonna go.
I think we're all dying
from the weekend.
All right, so we are going to that'll take a quick hiatus, but you can find Late Night Liam on New Age Pop. That also has For the Pops with Jamie Jemikowski and Scotty Slade. Songs for the Moment with G-Rod, who joined us live. Big thanks again to G-Rod and to Phil from the host of Who Got Next, and they're both from the Rant with Ant for joining us live. That movie show, Be Nerd with the three of us. Please subscribe, follow, like to New Age Pop. Tell us what you think. Twitch.com/New New Age Inside Twitch.tv/New Age Insiders Pop. We are on YouTube at New Age Insiders. Facebook. The Facebook is where you can find That Movie Show with Liam Stryker and Mike Wendt. They give regular updates and pay-per-view predictions. So if you want even more of Liam Stryker, follow us on Facebook. Those links are always up there. We are all over the place. We are bringing you. It's going to be a new year. We're revamping. We're re-gearing. Next week we have an announcement about some things that are getting moved around and reshuffled, and it's all for the better. It's going to be a gigantic year, including the brand new website, daily.com, not a rumor mill, not a dirt sheet, a daily.com for wrestling fans to really get together and have a unique experience. Super excited. Thanks once again to everyone who joined us out there in the Royal Rumble. What a thrill it was to see you. Next stop is New Orleans. We can't wait. We'll see you on Patreon. We will see you on Pop. We will see you next Wednesday live. My name is Jason Maltov.
I am Liam Stryker.
And I'm Bill Neville.
We're the New Age Insiders. Find us on Twitter. We're at New Age Insiders, at Liam NAI, at Bill Neville NAI, the website newageinsiders.com, the networks, NAI Wrestling Network and New Age Pop, because all together we're the premier place for wrestling fans to connect, discuss, and to be heard. We out.